perfectionists. I'm the centrist. And today I've titled my stream, Never Give Up, Never Surrender. Over the course of the last year, 2 years, I have realized something about myself. I am a perfectionist. I didn't want to used to admit it. Everything should make sense. Everything has a purpose. And the purpose is to get it right. It's an impossible aim. It's an impossible dream. Perfection? Perfection? What is that? What is perfection? Perfection is achieving the goal you have set out for yourself. Perfection is attaining a level where you could not do any better. It's making the right decision. And look, I've failed hundreds of times in my life. Hundreds of times. But that's not the point. I have certain things I want. And guess what? I'm stubborn enough to get them. But before that happens, I've got to do this. I've got to beat this game. And then I can move on to all those other things. All those things that I want to do. And why? Because the game is that good? No. Although the game is this good. What? Oh. I want to do it because this is a goal I set out for myself. Doesn't matter what it is. If you give up on the goals you set out for yourself, that's something that doesn't stop. You fail goal number 1. You go, I'll just move on to the next one. And then that fails. And then you move on. And you wake up one day, you're 60, you're 70, whatever. And you realize that you never put in that much time. You never put in the effort to succeed. Well, guess what? I don't care if it's possible or not. I'm not going to stop playing this game. I'm not going to stop trying for this Deathless run. This perfect story campaign run. Until I've either beaten it, I've done it, or I've pounded my head into the cement wall that is this game so many times and for so long that I am completely and totally convinced that I can't do it. And guess what? I'm not there, not by a long shot. I've got other games I want to play. I've got jobs I want to get to. I've got a life in front of me. But guess what? That life, it's on the other side of this game. This game is the door to that. This game's going down. Never give up. Never surrender. That's my mantra. That's my creed.
Listen, I don't want to upset your rhythm, Cal, but the boss wants a word.
If the door doesn't open, with a simple push of the hand,
There he is, Chief.
you kick it open.
An error has been detected on line 10A. All our clamps are jammed. I need 2 workers to climb up and secure the cables.
If that door is locked,
That's not an easy maneuver.
The guild will double your pay for this
you
shift.
break open the hinges.
What's your score? That couldn't hurt. Huh?
If the door is reinforced
Okay.
with concrete,
Let's go.
Get to work.
you pile up some TNT,
I'm Right behind you.
and you obliterate that sucker. That's where I'm at right now. I just watched the SpaceX launch. I'm hyped. This game's done. It's over. Guess what?
Sorry, Cal.
Don't worry about it.
This war is a foregone conclusion.
Up here.
I'm done playing games. I'm done with halfways. It's all or nothing. And it's not gonna be nothing.
Will you look at that?
I'll tell you that right now.
Separatist ship. Haven't seen a Luke or Hulk in ages.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reference.
Breaking her will be big money.
I should do that. Whenever I see a reference, I should be like, reference. Thank you. Because I appreciate that they tried to dig deep into the canon to make this game. And I always appreciate any piece of Legends original OG Star Wars canon that's been pulled from the hellfires that is Disney and Lucasfilm
Hey,
today.
you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Ladder's out, though. Gonna have to find another way.
Yeah, no problem. I'll improvise.
See you there, pal.
Rescued from oblivion and the desecration that is modern canon. There are things I like about modern canon.
You trash. Just not approved trash.
But I'll tell you what, I knew whether it was gonna work or not from the very first book, from Tarkin. Came out with James Luceno, the first new canon Star Wars book. And I read it,
Just pass
and the
through.
book was great. I love James Luceno. I love Tarkin. The book was amazing. But there was one line in it that caught my eye. And guess what? If you're James Luceno, you know exactly what I'm talking about right now. And you've already got your head hung in shame because I know you didn't do it. I know it wasn't your fault, Mr. Luceno. You didn't want it. They forced it. They forced it on you. I'm so sorry.
You too. Get yourself killed.
That's of
That's the
course
idea.
the line where we know Palpatine's first name. It's so disgusting I could barely even say it. Sheev. Sheev Palpatine. Sheev, like some S-H-E-E-V. Sheev, like he's some kind of late night
Sounds like scrap
comedian.
rats. Creepy. Just passing through, guys. No need to come out and say hi this time.
Over probably 150 Star Wars books, illustrated dictionaries, 6 movies, countless episodes of TV.
Hey, Cal. I'll meet you at the clamps.
Sounds good.
You never wondered for a fraction of a second, Disney, why none of them had ever given Palpatine a first name? You never thought that was a little bit odd? How even George Lucas himself never gave Palpatine a first name? You never thought, maybe we should stay away from that one? No.
How'd you get here?
You wanted to make your mark, regardless of the scar that it left when you did. And you did. You gave us Sheev. You pieces of crap. One of the greatest villains. No, the greatest villain in the history of villainy. In the history of film. Made into a joke. I didn't even like the Joker's name was Arthur. At least Arthur's a normal sounding name. It was Arthur, right? In Joker? I think so.
Cal,
Imagine if
use the manual override lever below.
Imagine if in the Joker movie, his name was Bob. Or like Chet. Or Dwayne or something. Something super weird, super wonky sounding. Would that not throw anyone out of the movie?
All right, clamp secured. Whoa, you okay?
Still here.
Give me a fright there, pal.
Hi, I'm the Joker. First name Abraham.
Done.
Hang on, I got this.
Really?
For done.
That's
Get
the.
out of here.
I can't. I'm gonna
Take
rant.
a look at this.
I could rant for hours.
It's a Jedi fighter. What a score!
Maybe I will
It's a real
rant for
smack
hours.
to say that. I mean, this he's been here, what, 4 years?
5.
Whoever flew this went down on a blazing glory.
Sheev.
Those Jedi. Real tragedy. Yeah, I've always said they couldn't all be traitors.
Yeah, maybe.
Guess it's just our lucky day. Empire's gonna get a lot of good material out of it. Yeah, here we are, scrapping these ships from the war just so they can turn around and make new ones. What a racket, huh? All of us risking our necks for the bosses. And the pay was better back during the Republic, too.
Hey, you really should watch what you say.
Listen to me. Find us feel like this, could be your ticket off this soggy rock.
What makes you think I want out of here?
Come on, Cal, you're a young guy. You don't end up like me. Eventually, you gotta move on and live your life. Find your destiny.
Whatever you say. Hey, we should get back down.
You're not listening to me. What was that?
Bro, you okay?
Cal!
Keep thinking back to Apple,
Just hang on.
right? In the 80s and the 90s.
No, don't let go.
I can't hold on!
Bro! No!
They're like, oh, it's the product that makes us successful. It's the product. It's the product that we make.
You okay, bro?
I'm all right. Just
It's the name Apple.
Pilot's gone.
Well, it turned out exactly how much that product
watch out, Cal!
and that name was worth without Steve Jobs. And that's squat. Nothing.
This thing is barely flying.
They're like, oh, we can... Oh, Star Wars is a great product. We can do whatever we want with it and it'll sell, which has turned out to be true. And guess what? Star Wars without George Lucas, you know what it is? It's squat. It's nothing. You try to make Lord of the Rings without J.R. Tolkien, it is just a shade. A shadow of what it was.
What was that back there? Was that you?
No offense to The Hobbit.
What, that was the Force, wasn't it?
Just forget what you saw, okay? Please,
No,
trust
but
me.
I've seen the stories. I've heard it. There's
Bro,
bounties out on people
I
like
know. I know.
Star Wars,
you. Yeah, we're ready.
without the input of George
We need to be
Lucas,
careful.
without the framework within which the world existed, people don't like it.
You holding up okay?
Good. Yeah, you?
Yeah. Cal, I've been working with you some time now. I've never seen you do anything like that before. We've been through some hell together. So, I know the risk that you took for me. I don't know how to repay you.
Don't mention it. I mean,
Oh, you don't have to worry about me. But this place, it's not safe. Maybe you should, disappear.
just gonna head back to my place, grab my bag. Tappers owes me a favor.
I heard he was up on Mount Shadella.
Yeah. You won't be seeing me for a while, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, Cal.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to know the truth? As it turns out, and this is something that I think DC and Star Wars learned the hard way. The hard way. Oh, people like the characters. People, they're too used to the characters. They need the characters to be subverted.
Prof, wait up.
Take their expectations and then stab them in the back. Well, guess what? You need to have... Just to write a decent story about the characters themselves, you need to have a really, really good understanding of who the characters are. And what they respond to. And why they respond the way they do. If you want to subvert it, you want to take the characters and put a completely original spin on it, do something completely unique, you can't just know them well. You can't just have a good understanding of the source material. You've got to know it like you know the back of your hand. And Zack Snyder just walked up to Batman and said, you know what? Whatever. I've read a few comic books. I know Batman. I should do fun stuff with him because who cares? Who gives a crap?
Look well and listen.
Master.
Trust only in the Force.
And he was arrogant. And he said, I like this Batman better.
Yeah.
I know better
Something's going on.
than 60 years of comics.
Identification ready.
And Rian Johnson looked at Luke Skywalker and said, I know better. I can do better. I don't like that original Luke Skywalker.
Probably just another contraband
No.
inspection.
You didn't understand the original Luke Skywalker. You did not understand Batman. And then you are shocked when people don't like it. When it turns out a different way than you wanted. When it doesn't mesh properly with the rest of the world. And you're like, wait a minute. Maybe there's a reason Superman wasn't supposed to be dark and brooding next to Batman. Maybe some people actually thought this through before. Shocking. And meanwhile, Marvel has the courtesy and respect for their characters. Just say, not who they are. Let's just put them on the screen. This is who they are.
We seek a dangerous fugitive. This is no
We'll create new
common
situations.
anarchist,
We'll create new
but
scenarios.
devotee
Yes,
of the
absolutely.
treasonous Jedi
Put them in
order.
weird spots. But they are going to behave like the people they're supposed to be in the comics.
Will result in a charge of
The way their
sedition.
characters have been created over
Turn yourself
decades and
in, or
decades
everyone present
of work.
shall face summary execution.
And when it turns out people love those
I think-
characters,
It's time someone came forward.
and people are willing to pay billions and billions and billions of dollars to
I
see
hear.
those characters on the screen,
I've been working on this heap a long time.
the #1 best franchise,
Way
the
before
#1
the war.
best-selling franchise in film history
Refit,
by like
rebuilt ships.
double the number
Best in the
that
galaxy.
second is.
Then came the Empire. And engineers,
God knows how much more in
It's
merchandising.
the workers, they just started getting worked.
Prof.
We all know the truth.
I've heard this speech so
Just-
many times I can't even. I have to talk
Too
over it.
afraid to say it.
The amount of money that has been
The
made off
Empire.
of merchandising has to be
We're all just
so
expendable.
monumentally stupendous.
Wrong.
No!
It's got to be absolutely mind-boggling.
I found the Jedi!
And you know what? Here's what I bet Kevin Feige would say if you asked him about it.
That hurts.
If you asked him, didn't you feel it was risky? What if people didn't like the characters?
Easy now.
What if they didn't like Iron Man?
Hey, you don't need to
What if they
focus
didn't like Captain America as is?
Pete, did you say Jedi?
What would have happened? Kevin Feige says, what are you talking about?
Over the comm? Jedi? The traitor, blast him!
We know people love these characters.
Contact confirmed. Shoot to kill. You'll pay for that.
They've loved Iron Man for years. They've loved Captain America for years. What do you think has changed? Do you think people have changed? Complete BS. Absolutely not. People haven't changed. People loved these characters then, and they'll love them now. We just have to be true to who they are. And not try to inject our own sense of whatever the world is now into that. Screw that. Have the characters be true to themselves. And trust that the creators of them knew what they were doing when they baked these parts, baked in their flaws and their virtues and what was good about them and what wasn't. No need to reinvent the wheel. People love the wheel. The wheel's great. And they've been rewarded, I think, for that. For the faith they've shown in their own characters. They have been monumentally rewarded. And I think Star Wars and I think DC have suffered because of their lack of faith and their lack of belief in their own creations and in their own achievements. That's my spiel. That's my monologue, my rant. I think I'm right though.
To the front. Stop the train. Oh no!
And I feel bad for both, by the way. Like really bad, because I think I saw a lot of potential in both. I saw a lot of potential in DC. I saw a lot of potential in Star Wars.
Faster!
And I think all of that potential was destroyed by people who did not understand the world, did not understand the characters, even their own characters, even their new characters, and did not, just didn't respect it.
Whoa! This is bad.
What was it Ian Malcolm said? Famous words.
Only way is up.
You were so worried about whether you could, you never stopped to think about whether you should. I hope that we've learned our lesson. I hope that when the Batman comes out, it's Batman. I hope that when Kenobi comes out, it's not about some reimagined Obi-Wan Kenobi. What if we tried to subvert Obi-Wan Kenobi? No. Just give us our characters. Please. Like, I'm practically begging at this point. This game is great. The story's great. Just do this. Have some, like, respect for Star Wars. gotta time that out better.
It's all over now. Can't lose, can we?
What now? Train stuff? This can't be good. Whoa!
I have significant physics questions for that little section, but that I'm just gonna ignore for now.
Going somewhere. I recognize that stance. Perhaps you've had some training after all. Who is your master, Padawan? Someone I killed, perhaps? What Jedi gave their life so that you might live?
Alright. Parry. Hit,
That
stop.
strike will be your last.
Now that it gives you the ultimate, the maximum combo. Hit, pause. If you don't do that, you can only get 2 hits in at a time. Because on the third swing of the combo, she rolls away just like that. Perfect. And now it's fast.
Get on board!
Okay, shut that thing off and grab some seat.
Thanks for the help. But who are you people?
My name is Seer Junda, and this is my captain, Grease Dritus.
How you doing? Yeah, the Mantis is my ship, but you better pay attention to this lady here.
So, who are you?
Cal. Kestis. Who was that back there?
An Imperial Inquisitor. She's a Force user hunting Jedi survivors. And now that she knows who you are, she will not stop until she destroys you.
How do you know so much? And why'd you help me?
We track Imperial communications. We heard the Inquisitors were heading to Braca. So we made our move.
Oh, yeah? And what's the bounty on Jedi these days anyway?
That's gratitude for you.
Look, I get it. You've been surviving on your own for so long that it's impossible to trust anyone. And it's what's kept you alive. But this is about something bigger than just surviving.
Like what?
Like rebuilding the Jedi Order.
You too? Anybody else?
Oh, we're not good enough for you?
The Jedi Council?
They're gone.
So I'm all you've got.
Captain, set a course for Bogano.
Aye, aye.
In the meantime, try and relax. Go, you're safe. For now.
You gotta move on and live your life. Find your destiny. Calico! You were talking in your sleep. Weirdo.
Finishing the cutscene here.
Breeze?
Not now. I got work to do.
That's all. I wrote it. Years ago. You touch an object and witness events connected to it. You feel its history.
It's an echo in the force from the object.
Not many Jedi have that skill.
How would you know that?
I was once a Jedi, but not anymore.
Do I know you?
No. But I knew your master, Jaro Tapal. He was a true guardian of the Republic.
He was a hero. Listen. Something happened to me during the Purge. I survived, but my connection to the Force is damaged. When I meditate, if I let my guard down, I lose control. And it's like I'm back in that moment when...
You survived, Cal. And you're not alone. Not anymore.
We're coming up on our destination.
This is Bogano. A Jedi I knew discovered it before the Purge. You won't find it on any maps.
The Empire doesn't know this place exists.
No.
So, what's the plan? We hide out here?
We're done hiding, Cal. See that structure over there? I believe that vault holds the key to rebuilding the Jedi Order. But it requires someone strong in the Force to pass its test.
And since you're not a Jedi anymore, that's why you need me.
I know you don't trust me. And I'm not really sure I trust you. But we have a common enemy. and a common cause. I'll share more of my plan after you reach the vault. But until then, there's someone here I think you should meet. May the Force be with you.
When she says strong in the Force, I think she sort of means mediocre-ish. Don't get me
So
wrong.
looking for a Jedi then. But if there's already one here, why does Seer need me?
Gal's good against, like, stormtroopers, ATSTs. He can pull off some high-flying Jedi heroics when he needs to.
This looks like a safe place to meditate. Just need to focus my mind.
He can even beat a wannabe dark side user. Not Vader, though. Yeah, overhead slash is pretty garbage. It's both too slow and uses way too much force power, so... If I'm ever... Like, overhead slash is something I use only very conditionally.
Hey, BD1. I'm Cal. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just...
Aw, it's a pupper.
No,
Hello.
not you. I'm searching for a Jedi, I think. Hold on. You know the Jedi? What do you know?
I think this is the first time they established that you can actually understand binary.
Just slice that? Thanks. That's the vault Seer mentioned. Whoever I'm supposed to find must be waiting there.
Wow, that's not, like, obvious at all, huh? How are we going to hide our vault, sir? Let's build this massive spire out in the middle of this swamp planet. Where it's the tallest thing within 100 miles. Yeah, that'll work. Does look good, though.
Any ideas? Gotta get across this gap somehow. A zip line? Whoa! How'd you know that would work? Wait, you didn't? Careful over there. That doesn't look safe. Just like that kind of scrapyard.
Oh, rude.
I'm coming.
You're going down because you look icky and non-furry, and that makes you less deserving of life than all of the other animals on the planet. I don't know. Hey, I'm just using the same logic that Star Wars does. Let's be real. Like,
Whoever lived here used this room for storage. They kept food and supplies.
I'm just trying to keep things honest here, you know?
That was pretty brave. You okay? Wait, I can help you with that. Will you let me? Oh, okay. Well, your scomp link is busted, but this should help you get moving for now. Okay, try that.
So dumb. No one thinks out the logical.
The vault. Yeah, that's where I was headed to.
You know, one of the dumbest things
Okay, well,
about
gotta figure out a way out of this place.
DC, about some of those new Star Wars movies, is that they were willing to sacrifice continuity
Don't worry, I'll find my own way out.
and the plot for the sake of a cheap
That
joke.
should work.
They don't seem to understand
Like they lead somewhere.
that they can't, that they need to think through things, right? Okay, here's an example. Chewie eating the porg in Last Jedi. Right, they're sitting at a campfire. Just describe the joke in case you don't remember it, which I know you don't, because why would you?
Yeah,
Chewie is sitting down at his campfire. They're eating what he reveals to be cooked porg, right? He's cooked when he's eating it. Apparently it's good. I don't know.
healing stim. We're full
A
of
porg
surprises.
comes up to him and gives big eyes and looks sad. And the audience is supposed to go, "Aw, Chewie's eating his friend."
Okay, let's try this again.
Well, let's think about that.
Oh, okay.
1.
Here,
The
I'm on board.
porg is a stupid bird
So, how'd you get here?
and knows nothing. Because it's a
Don't
bird.
remember? I've never known a forgetful droid.
Meaning that Chewie's in the clear and can eat it freely, but there's no reason why the porg would look sad or be evoking emotions at all. Right?
Was in there.
Option number 2, the porg is sentient, a thinking, emotional
That's where we
being,
need to go. I can feel it.
and is sad upon looking at the cooked remains of a friend that Chewie is consuming.
I'll check it out.
Starting to see the dilemma. Of course, that's not a dilemma that the writers thought of. They just thought it'll be a funny joke.
I can't make it over there. We gotta find another way.
The actual funny joke, the funny joke that makes sense, is in how The Last Jedi should have ended. Where Chewbacca then offers the cooked porg to the living porg, and the little guy happily munches it down.
Where you going?
That's funny. Like,
What is it?
that's humorous. Oh, cool.
This tool was used by someone eager to reach the vault.
From the skies.
Run for it!
You're going down, Bogdo. Get ready to meet your destiny. You happen to be in my way. Get wrecked. From the skies! Ah, it didn't work. Next time. As I mentioned before, I watched the SpaceX launch today. It actually killed a run because I was busy watching the launch, and I let some Splocks kill me by mistake.
See something in there?
Wasn't one of my prouder moments, but I would rather have died there than have missed the launch. Goodness knows America needs some good news right now.
Try again.
It's difficult, Master.
Yes, the path is difficult. It may seem impossible, but with persistence and the Force as your ally, You will overcome any obstacle. You will master any path. Now, do what you must to reach me. Faster, more intensity. Now, reach my position.
I did it. Persistence and the Force is my ally. Just remembering old tricks.
I suppose I should quickly address what is happening in the country, right? I chose a political name for a reason, right? The Centrist is not obviously as gaming related as it is political related. Otherwise, I could have just picked something like, you know, Get Wrecked Noobs 24
This
or
area
whatever.
was used for meditation. There's someone familiar with the Jedi Order.
Or any one of a million different gamer names. I chose the centrist because that's what I am. I'm a political centrist. I think that both parties have answers to some of the problems we face. I don't trust any media, really, that's sold for profit by massive corporations.
Whoever owned this bag brought it from Coruscant. They were frustrated with the Jedi Council.
I don't trust 80 to 85% of politicians, including the leadership of both political parties. And obviously, this is in the middle of these riots, in the middle of these protests. It is not objective to me. This is my city. This is happening in. Right? This is I live in the Twin Cities. On the western side, right? So it's not like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not theoretical to me. It's not a hypothetical. It's happening here.
Someone made camp here. They were excited to discover a giant creature that lives close by. A binog, they called it.
And obvious, and I guess I just sort of share the majority opinion, which seems to me to be the majority opinion, at least in Minnesota and in Minneapolis, which is I was horrified and disgusted by the video that came out of the murder of George Floyd.
Sorry about your scalp.
Absolutely horrifying.
Standing up to that bog rat? Pretty brave. That creature seems so at home here. Protector of Pagana.
I also have
Oh, that was
seen
you.
images now, after 3 days, of a burning police precinct. And of a looted department stores and a 6-story
Racy there?
low-rent housing unit that was burned to the ground.
We're not finished yet. Okay, you probably would have won. Probably. Another one?
I am a strong believer, and always have been, of the principles of nonviolent protest. If Minneapolis had not fired the officer involved immediately, had not charged him with some form of manslaughter or murder, then it's possible that I would have, or even likely, that I would have attended at least one or maybe two
Amazing.
nonviolent protests. But this has gone
You alright, BD?
way too
Well
far.
done.
It is
Whether
very
you-
out of control.
You have passed the test I left behind, and gained access to the vault and this recording, one of many encrypted logs stored in the droid. I am Master Eno Cordova. I may not know your name, but I know your purpose. The fate of the Jedi Order lies in your hands. This place, this vault, is a sacred temple, built by a vanished civilization known as the Zepho. Meditating here, I was granted a premonition through the Force, a vision of doom. I have placed inside this vault a Jedi holocron, containing a list of the names and locations of young Force sensitives throughout the galaxy. Ahead, you will find the inner chamber of the vault, but also another test. I can only trust this holocron to someone who has followed my path and understands. Seek out the hidden tombs of the three sages and learn to perceive the mysteries of the Force as the Zepho once did. In this droid, you will find everything you need to succeed on this journey. Go to the Zepho homeworld. There, you will find peace in the eye of the storm. Good luck, Jedi. And may the Force be with you.
I guess you were the someone I was supposed to meet. You know, I've been alone for a while now. Without any purpose, just hiding. There's no way to live. Not for a Jedi. Or a droid. Maybe Seer was right. Maybe we're done hiding. Hey, you want to meet some, friends of mine?
There was
I
a
found what you wanted me to see.
Sounds like you did.
there was a famous quote I remember from Martin Luther King Jr. that said, and I wrote this down because I wanted to make sure I had it right. Violence is impractical because it is a descending spiral ending in destruction for all. And I think that's really sort of the most significant input I can try to put on it, is that I don't think violence works, regardless of whether you think it is morally justified or not. Which maybe in some cases it might be. I don't know. But violence does not solve problems. It just creates more of them. So I'm hoping that there is no violence tonight in my city, and that the FBI and that the police and the National Guard can peacefully bring this to
My friend, it
a
appears the
calm
Zepho
end.
had some interest in Dathomir.
But unfortunately, I'm not getting my hopes up.
Strange. For such a peaceful culture to have
Because
any
I sort of have that
fascination
gut
with a
feeling that
place
this is
so
not going away.
dark.
Help me, BD1. Should be a lot quicker than the way in. Hi there. Making a new friend.
Whoops. Almost forgot to backtrack. This was where I died just a few short hours ago. We'll see what I can do to avoid my demise here.
I sense something over here.
Ah.
It was after boggling eggs and the pack fought back.
Get wrecked. How did that happen? There we go. Dang it, I
Steam
forgot.
crate. Should be here. Wait, can you carry more? Thanks, BD1.
I should have healed up before I got on that. Try something a little different.
Help!
Get wrecked. Piece of garbage. Get out of my way! There we go. Those guys suck.
Alright then. What is it?
Alright, we are on our way out. Look at that backdrop. Look at that moon. Or that might be a planet I'm on the moon? I don't know. Do the fans last. And I do that because if I don't, we start running into some problems. Problemos.
That thing looks like it smells worse than grease does.
Die, Ogdo Bogdo. And one more should do it. Come on. Get wrecked.
Bogling was killed. Is it trying to defend its family? What is this place?
Middle, and now I can go. There's a lot of like physics in there, sort of bumping
Jedi
up
used
against
this
each
place
other.
to study the sphere above.
You sort of need to be careful
I
of.
can still feel the excitement.
I turn the fans off there because I don't want to fall into them when I come back. Alright, we are out of here.
Scanning again? Next. Speedy one.
You passed the test.
So you knew about BD1?
Come on board. We'll talk inside.
Oh, BD1, this is Grease. Hey, Grease.
What is that? Get off my sofa! Get off my sofa! Don't! Get out of there! Get out!
That is BD1. He's with us.
I don't care who he's with. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get oil stains out of petroleum fabric?
Not really.
Oh, I hope you found something better out there than this droid.
Oh, calm down, Grease. He did. Tell us, Cal.
The vault was built by an ancient civilization called the Zepho. A Jedi named Eno Cordova hid something inside of it.
What did he hide inside?
A holocron from the archives. It contains a list of Force-sensitive children.
The next generation of Jedi. I knew it! Ah, Cordova, you old fool.
You knew him?
Yes, a long time ago. I was his apprentice. Cordova was a loner. That little droid and I are probably the only ones that know about Pagano.
Hold on, wait a minute. A hollow what?
A holocron. It stores information, but only accessible to Jedi. Hang on, I think I have one around here. Use the Force.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen.
With that list of Force sensitives, we could rebuild the Jedi Order and defeat the Empire.
Okay, no problem. Let's get it.
Well, except the holocron is hidden deep inside the vault, and to get it, we have to follow Cordova's path. He mentioned something about the planet Dathomir and a Zepho homeworld.
All right, well, where are we going? I'm just asking because I was thinking of maybe making some food.
Zepho, please.
Look, before we do anything, I need to know something. How come you're no longer a Jedi?
I had an experience that changed my perspective. So I cut myself off from the Force.
But you still want to rebuild the Order.
I believe that rebuilding the Order is the best chance we have against the Empire. What do you believe?
I believe I can't keep hiding from the Empire, so I don't really have a choice.
Cal, as long as you're alive, you will always have a choice. Are you with us?
We're in.
Dathomir Zepho. It's your choice.
I have no reason to go to Dathomir for a long time.
Hey, Grease, what's this thing?
What? You've never seen a terrarium before?
Sure, but don't they usually have plants in them?
Well, I've been a bit busy hauling you around the galaxy. But you know, you could pay me back with some seeds.
I thought you hated nature.
When it's out there, you betcha. But when it's behind a comfortably thick wall of embarring glass, that's perfection.
All right, I'll see if I can find any. Seer, can you feel the Force at all?
Yes. But instead of opening up, I push it back down. The exact opposite of what you should do.
Out there, I remembered something about myself before the Purge. It was painful, but like I found a piece of myself.
That's good. You're learning to embrace the Force again.
How can you say that?
Because I know what it means to live without it.
Okay, I'll keep trying.
Let's talk later, Cal.
Where are we headed?
Zepho!
Here we go.
Zepho. I love this
all
sequence.
Over, I think it'll be time to settle down, you know, fall in love, start a family.
Love? You?
Yeah, you think a guy like me doesn't know love?
I bet you're gonna tell me.
Let me tell you, it's the best, but a lot of work. It needs admiration, devotion, attraction, and respect.
Please. That's actually very insightful.
Yeah, well, it comes with experience. Can't look this good and not steal a few hearts.
I bet.
All right, we're here. Get in your chair.
I'm gonna find a good book to read in the cutscenes.
Look of a storm brewing down there. This might not be the best time to land.
Yeah, something strange. Those winds are interfering with our comms.
Hey, Cordova mentioned something about peace in the eye of the storm. Well, I can just make out a settlement in the middle of it.
Then we have to get there.
Copy that. Couple bumps ain't gonna kill you, kid. Unless the wind picks up. Can you tell that bucket of balls to keep his opinion to himself?
I'm sure everything's under control.
Yes, it's under control. It's just a little tricky. Okay, hold on. Huh. Perfect landing. Easy money, baby.
But I'm still getting a lot of interference on the comms. It's gonna take me a minute to get them back up.
I'll search for signs of Cordova in the meantime.
Good. I'll be in touch once I practice.
Dang it. I haven't found one yet.
Cal, over here. You did good work on Bogano. The more information we gather on Cordova and Zepho, the closer we'll get to stopping the Empire.
I've heard of ancient cultures, but don't know much about them.
I only knew that Cordova was obsessed with the Zepho, believing their teachings to be important. I, too, was intrigued by the mysteries of our galaxy. You better get moving. There's a lot to learn here. Good luck.
I can see you two have been through a lot. It's not easy.
No, it's not. But I think of those who believed in me at one point. If I give up on myself, then I give up on them. I'm sure you have a few of those.
Prof, friend on Braca. He sacrificed himself so I could live.
He believed in you. A lot of people depend on you, even if they don't know it yet. Keep going, Cal. For Prof. For everyone.
BD-1's a helpful droid.
He does seem to be warming up to you.
Cordova must have really liked droids. He decided to leave such important information with BD-1.
I only assume he chose BD-1 because he needed some sort of ability to store encrypted information. These exploration droids are good tools for that sort of thing. But I'm sure he's more than that. Please, I'm trying to collect my thoughts.
Good work. Oh, we did it. We did it. I hope you're not hurt. What are you looking at?
Who are you talking to?
Just my ship. The Manus. Good name, right? Intimidating. Oh, what do you know? You probably never even flown a ship. Maybe I'll teach you one day when you're done with your Jedi stuff. I'll even give you a discount.
It's dangerous being on the run, huh?
You're telling me. You lose someone?
His name was Prof. Traded his life for mine.
Sounds like a tough, strong guy. Not far from myself.
He was. Since the day I stepped foot on Braca, he watched over me. Never complained.
Never complained? On that trash heap?
I just hope he didn't do it for nothing.
They never do, kid. They never do.
Nice landing, Grease.
Me? Oh, yeah. Not a problem. It's easy for a skilled pilot like myself, especially when flying a ship like this. This baby was a steal. Well, I mean, I didn't steal it. I bought it. Well, almost. I took out a small loan. Big loan, actually. No, it's fine. Look, we're all fine. Don't worry about it. Don't you have Jedi stuff to do? Get to it, kid.
All right, let's go.
Sometimes you creep me out, kid.
Oh, all right then. So what was in there? Oh? Nice job. Oh, okay. What's that, BD-1?
Let me introduce the Skaz. Hello, Skaz.
Watch out, BD.
I go for the one on the left first because it locates me sooner.
Good job.
Cal, can you hear me?
The Empire. They found Zeppo.
If they were following the Mantis, we would have been swarmed already.
Could they be looking for the tombs?
I didn't realize it was gonna get up that fast.
Just got our comms working. I'll try the same workaround to crack into theirs.
All right, you guys want to dance? Let's go. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Need a stim.
I've just been thinking about 1968, right?
Mother used this fabric to keep her child warm. They were on the run from something.
How can we be reliving 1968 50 years later? How is that still a thing?
Never thought I'd be so happy to see a crate. It fits. Thank you, BD.
For anyone who doesn't know, I like to tell my students that 1968 is on the list of contenders for worst year in the history of the United States. Of course, there have been worse spreads of years, 4 or 5 years, but I think in terms of like a single non-continuous event, 1968 is a good entrant in the list of worst years in U.S. history. 1968, of course, starts off with... In fact, when I say starts off, I mean starts off. December 31st. The celebration of the New Year in Vietnam marks the beginning of the Tet Offensive by the Vietnamese. The offensive that's given credit for winning the Vietnam War for the New York Vietnamese. So, the attack wasn't very successful in terms of its actual physical targets. But what it did achieve was to demoralize the entire U.S. populace to the point that they began, for the first time, I think, really reconsidering whether the war was worth it in the first place. Ow.
What's that?
And of course, that's only the start of 1968. It gets worse, much worse. 1968. Martin Luther King Jr. is assassinated.
Buster, no!
Sparking riots across the United States.
Eyes over there.
A few months later, Robert Kennedy is assassinated.
You and me now, Jedi. Enemy below.
It must have felt like the United States was quite literally tearing itself apart. At the Democratic Convention to elect, was it McGovern? No, it was actually in Minnesota, I believe.
Where are you taking us?
The Empire's forced
Pardon
the
my
villagers from their homes, frightened refugees.
forgetfulness. I forget the name of the candidate
Worse.
who was running on the Democratic ticket. I'm sure it'll come to me in a moment. I'm gonna buy some skills here. More force power, more life, and then 2 movement enablers. Dash strike, which I won't use that much because it uses too much force. And sprint strike, which I'll use a lot more. What was his name? It was Lyndon Johnson's VP.
Hey, did you see that?
Regardless, at the Chicago Democratic Convention, there was
So what was
in there?
mass protests leading to police reprisals in the streets. It was a dark, dark time. And what it led to, interestingly enough, was the presidency of Richard Nixon. Because what happened was millions of Americans watched the protests and the riots unfold on television, and I'm sure they must have had some sort of reaction to it, and then Richard Nixon appeared. Calm and collected as ever. And ran on the platform of law and order, that he was going to bring law and order back to America, and that's how he won that election. A Democrat had been president since Eisenhower. Kennedy was in office for 7 years. Lyndon Johnson in office another 4 years. A Democrat had been president for all of the 60s.
Did you find something, BD1?
And suddenly the Republican candidate won, and so you see these switches back and forth that still occur in history today. If you actually look at the statistics, about half of the time of the presidency is split between Republicans and Democrats. There's Republican for 4 years, Democrat for 4 years. And we've had great Republican presidents, and great Democratic presidents, and horrible Republican presidents, and horrible Democratic presidents. And only, I think, will, as a historian, I sort of have to say that we'll wait for the judgment of history as to whether the current where the current president fits in. Crap. There we go. One of the interesting things that sort of I'm aware of is that if you support President Trump, then you tend to think that he's one of the greatest ever. And if you don't support President Trump, you think he's one of the worst ever, that he's something to despise. I haven't not met, interestingly enough, a lot of people who are iffy on President Donald Trump. There's a lot of you either you love him or you hate him, sort of. Too early, I gotta wait. I will say he certainly hasn't brought the country together, but I also don't think at this point it's really possible to elect a candidate who is willing to bring the party, to bring the country together. If you're a Republican, you are going to vote for Republicans. If you're a Democrat, you're going to vote for Democrats. There's not going to be any flip-flopping unless you're really mad at the establishment. If you're anti-establishment, that sort of provides that wild card where you might have voted for Trump as sort of a burn the system down sort of
This crate was
sort of
moved here
deal.
by stormtroopers.
Which is, of course,
Anxious
your
for some reason.
constitutional right.
Pressured to find relics.
Look at that. Look at how cool that is. Oh, that long fall. The whole area is really, really cool.
Whoa. That's gotta be one of the Zepho.
You see the weather system. I actually did not think last election was going to be interesting. As it turns out, I was extremely wrong.
My friend,
This election, I am...
Since I left Lugano, I've uncovered more about the Zepho than I once believed possible.
I am sort of willing to admit that I actually have a lot to learn about politics. Ha! Get wrecked. I think this election is going to be one of the most fascinating we have seen in our history. And oh, by the way, if people think that these riots that are happening now are something else, then just wait until November if Trump wins re-election. There was not massive protests about Trump when he won in 2016 because no one had anything set up. No one expected him to win, and there was sort of this shock factor to his win, an element of the surreal and the absurd about it. I remember the day after waking up in the morning and walking into my school lunch area, the cafeteria, right? College I'm talking about.
Your guard is pretty solid.
And in lunchroom they had the news on, and the news person said, and on the headlines was President Trump elected, and I just looked at that and went, excuse me? I had been watching the election all night. I knew that Trump had won. It was just, I think, and I think this is true, by the way, of Republicans and Democrats, of everyone who sort of woke up that next morning in a daze. Did that really just happen?
Can't wait to watch these grow.
There was a great parody of it that was certainly from a liberal bent, but I thought was funny. Very funny, in fact. I'm not sure if it was from SNL or College Humor. But the perspective was of Trump's campaign managers, who it turned out were like two YouTube personalities, who had set up the entire thing as an elaborate prank. That they were going to have Trump run as this, like, crazy candidate and then turn out to... It was all going to be revealed as a prank, and it was going to be really funny, and... It wasn't exactly important. Ah, crap.
Stim, here!
Crap. I mean, I think that's actually how Trump started. Perhaps he was trying to get popular... I think he was trying to get popularity for the celebrity. Or... No, the apprentice? I don't know.
In accordance with the Emperor's will, we've occupied Zepho, redistributing its inhabitants. This planet has failed to yield significant data or relics for Project Augur. Its electromagnetic winds have rendered the bulk of our mining technology useless. Meanwhile, more stormtroopers lose their lives to dangerous fauna. We will not be able to fulfill our directive here. It is my recommendation that we disband the project and leave a token outpost to keep scavengers from stealing our technology.
All the same, I do think there... I really sort of... If I had to ask... If I could ask President Trump any question, and I knew that he would answer it, like, completely honestly, right?
Don't scare me.
I would probably ask him, what was the moment where, for the first time, you really believed you could win? What the crap was that? Excuse me? Momentum? What in the... I hate this game. I hate it. I just... Why, though? Alright. I can do this. Ho-ho! Let's go! Nope. Nah, I'm not timing it right. I don't think you can time it right. Yeah, I'm done for now. That's just annoying.